Okay, well, anyway. Yeah, so we were having an issue last time. Turns out there is a way to restart the game. Hey, Caleb. Um, it's hidden away in the settings. You can start a new game by going all the way to the settings. I don't know why this isn't on the main menu, but anyway. So we're gonna start over from last time, so we can actually go through the story leading up to the game, because it has a little bit of a setup here on the decisions that are made from the beginning of the game. So anyway, here we go. There was once a time when gods and people walked the earth together. Your clan traces its ancestry back to those times. Your clan history begins when you joined the forces of the storm god Orlanth. Back then, Orlanth was simply but one of many upstart rebellious gods bent on conquest of the world. Orlanth's unique contributions at that time were personal honor and a close kinship to other deities who seemed to be on the winning side. You might have to, I don't know. So yeah, there's a whole section to this. This is not the beginning of time in Glorantha lore. There's a whole area before this. This actually happens. Third Age? I don't remember. Anyway, after many tribulations, adventures, and discoveries, Orlanth proved himself worthy of marrying Ernalda, the Earth Mother. The two formed the marriage ring, and created a great harmony in the world through his sacred bond. Your clan took part in the wedding ceremony. Most clans either whooped with Orlanth, or learned a secret from Ernalda. A few clans stood with Elmal, god of horses and the sun, as an honor guard. How did you prepare for the great marriage? Your men and women donned gleaming armor and stood with Elmal to protect the celebrants from Orlanth's many enemies. Your men whooped with Orlanth and drank the 8 known drinks, so your heads would hurt during the ceremony. Or your women withdrew with Ernalda and learned a list of names, which they promised not to repeat to the men. Which one shall we pick? I think the canonical thing is that we are Orlanthi. But this is an opportunity, I guess, to choose which deity we want to be under. Well, I think it just means we got really drunk and we have hangovers. I think the key takeaway here is that it's just one of 3 gods that we're going to follow. The rest of it's just flavor text. It might make us stronger in battle, I don't know. I'm sure somewhere there is information that breaks down absolutely everything each decision in the game does, but I don't want to dig too far into that. Okay. So shall we go Elmal? Okay. So your men and women donned gleaming armor and stood guard with Elmal. I believe that means we will now follow Elmal. Orlanth's struggle to remake the world was just beginning, and many other gods joined him in it. Orlanth fought Yelm, the Bright Emperor, and undertook many wars of conquest. Other more peaceful deeds were just as important. Your earliest famous event was the healing of Orlanth, when the merciful goddess Shalana Arroy joined Orlanth's tribe. The 100-Day Hunt, when Orlanth and his son Odela tracked the Skybear. Jested's settlement, where Orlanth and Iseres, the talking god, which is also the god of trade, outwitted foreign deities in a difficult negotiation. Procession of the animals, where Ernalda, the cow mother, led the sacred herds into Orlanth's stead. When Barntar, son of Orlanth and Ernalda, learned of harnessing oxen to plow. When Lankor Mai, the knowing god, learned how to use the marking bone, which would mark signs of power upon anything. When Pela, the pottery goddess, made the first pot to store grain in. Or when Roitina, Lady of Dance, did the first clan-making dance. So, if you remember from the last time we played this, there were all those choices at the beginning of each year that we could put, magic points into. It was like the miracles and the knowledge and the cattle and farming and all this stuff. I think that's basically what this all is that it is, it gives us a bonus to one of those things, I think. So like the ability to do healing, the ability to do hunting, trading, animals, oxen. Well, wait a minute. So these sort of sound the same. Oh, not oxen. Oxen to plow. So it'd be the farming. So that's basically what it is. It's those choices at the beginning, I think, is what we're getting a bonus here too. Do we want to do the cows? Cows are money in the game, remember? So yeah, I think it's healing, hunting, trading. This would be our herds and our cows. This would be the farming. And so I think that's plants. I don't actually remember the thing. This would be the knowledge or the secrets. This would be... I don't know what pottery would be. And then this is like the gods' secret thing. Okay, let's go for cows. The procession of the animals. So wait a minute, what was this thing again? We stood with him. Your earliest famous event was the procession of the animals, where Ernalda, or Uralda, rather, I've been saying that. They're two different gods, actually. Where Uralda, the cow mother, led the sacred herds into Orlanth's steads. Orlanth succeeded in remaking the world, thus began the golden era called the Storm Age. Orlanth's son, Vingut, was a famous warlord during this time. Most people in the area were his followers. He introduced new principles such as the rule of hospitality, which said that after you invited people into your stead, you could not attack or harm them. This is important, remember this part. So even though we're following Elmal, we're still part of the Orlanthi pantheon, so we still need to follow the rules here. So we've got the rule of hospitality. Thus was much treachery banished from Orlanthi society. Many who would not have survived agreed to his new ways in order to gain his protection. He was a great organizer and helped many scattered people form into new clans and tribes. Your clan was one of those aided by King Vingut, after you proved yourselves robust and capable of survival. Vingut placed a remnant people under your protection. They were the Nalda Bin, or stick farmers. You had a choice whether to make them into thralls or adopt them as members of your clan. So we can either have slaves or not. And I do not believe Orlanth likes taking thralls. This is just a chance for us to break that if we want to. Oop. If we want to. And I think this also goes for everyone else in the valley, too. This will affect our reputation with the other clans. Because if we're thrall takers and no one else is, they're not going to like us very much for that. Okay, so we're going to adopt them as family. The foes of the Vingatlings were many, and your people fought hard against them. Which one of them in particular did you fight? Baztakang, the Troll Lord, Ukar Gra, king of the Basmoli Beastmen, Chinkis Mor, the Elf Warlord, Tadagreen, champion of the Flatland called Prax, and Vesvena, warlord of the Ice Tribe. I feel like the Praxians are the horse people. But yeah, eventually, so throughout the game, we will come across other tribes and creatures. I believe the Orlanthi are enemies of the trolls. But I think all of these will be kind of enemies with either way, because they're not us, they're not Orlanthi. But I'm pretty sure in the lore, the trolls... the area, the Dragon Pass area, is formerly troll territory, so I think this probably would just make them worse. And then beastmen are in the forest, elves are in the forest. I do not know about the Ice Tribe, but I think this decision here is just setting us up for the main villains, the main antagonists to our tribe throughout the game. I think we'll have a chance to meet all of them, but I think we will just be antagonistic towards one of these in particular through this choice. I don't know, there's literally so much lore to the Glorantha setting. I don't even know a fraction of it. I did read at one point sort of a short history, but that was a condensed history. And most of the history, so there in the world of Glorantha, there's two major continents, and like all of this, including Dragon Pass, is just the northern continent. Apparently the southern continent has its own batch of lore. But anyway, who do we want to be? Should I break out the dice so I can just start random rolling some of this stuff? Okay, hold on a minute, I'll be back. Yeah, I know, it's not an even number of choices here. So, I will roll the die. It's a 2. The Beastmen. The Storm Age ended in disaster when the gods and creatures of chaos came and destroyed nearly everything. Orlanth and his allies fought hard, but chaos also almost always won. Many gods died and new ones rose to prominence. Many people died too. Catastrophes shook the world. The sunfall, the rain of blood, and the terrible laughing tsunami. The darkness got so bad that even Orlanth and his champions had to abandon humans to their own destiny. Only a few deities, either small ones or weak ones, remained. The world stagnated and died. Your clan was diminished to a ragged handful of hardy survivors. Heort the king was the leader who emerged amid the turmoil of the darkness. The efforts of Heort and his companions helped set the world in order again. He created the laws that we follow to this day. One of the great distinctions which Heort discerned among his clans was that some of them tended towards either peace or war, while others maintained a balance between these two principles. What kind of clan are you? So I think by default we were balanced last time, and that gives us a little bit of flexibility. I'm just gonna have to get all my dice out here. Okay, we'll go balanced. Oh boy, here we go. Finally, the sun rose again, while the rest of society worked to protect themselves, find food, or otherwise just survive. The first priests, worked to re-establish links with the ancient deities. With a new harmony between people and deities, the world was slowly improved. Once the awakening process had begun, it got easier and went quicker as the gods woke each other too. Who was the first deity that your clan helped to awaken? None. The ancestors are good enough. None. We retained worship of our living deity, Elmal, the Loyal Thane. This was the one we chose. Looks like we can also choose Urox, the Storm Bull. Urox, in particular, fights chaos. Not to spoil anything, but chaos is the great enemy of the game. There is, however, a tribe of Uroxi, basically mercenaries, in the game that I know of. So, and then Odela the Hunter, or we can choose Ernalda the Mother Goddess, Orlanth the Father, Iseres the Talking God, Lankor Mai the Knowing God, Chalana Arroy the Healing Goddess, or Uralda the Cow Mother. So we chose Elmal at the beginning. We also chose Uralda the Cow Mother. So I think these are just giving us bonuses, but now I think this is going to be our main deity that we're choosing here. So how many choices is that? 9? So the living deity is the one that we know will answer our prayers too, I believe. So we could just stick with Elmal, or we could decide to go someone else. Elmal was the guy that we were getting we think we're getting the bonuses from for armor and whatnot. Stick with Elmal. Okay, we'll stick with Elmal. Well, I'd rather not make this one random, if we can help it, because this one is actually going to be sort of important, but let's stick with Elmal then. The Loyal Thane. Okay. Things have been different since the dawn, 1300 years ago. Orlanth and the other gods retreated from the world, leaving it to mortals. You can still contact them through ritual and sacrifice, or enter their realm by reenacting stories about their deeds, which contain great magic. But they no longer walk beside you. When you settled in a new place, you marked this great change in the world by naming your land not after a god, but after a mortal like yourselves. You called it Heortland, in honor of the king who taught you how to survive the darkness. About 600 years ago, a dragon approached you, and in either its own form or that of a human with a dragon's soul inside it. The dragons had always been hostile, or at least very best, utterly uncaring. Orlanth was always the dragon slayer. You had to choose whether to believe it and cooperate and learn to do what dragons know, or whether to maintain neutrality. What was your attitude towards the dragons? We can be hostile to those that were always hostile to us. We can be neutral and not go along with them, or we can join in their dragon knowledge. And I think I briefly went over some of the lore last time, so if you remember, there is actually a correct choice here. Or at least a more correct choice. Okay. Dragon knowledge. Dragon knowledge it is. We joined in their dragon knowledge. Most of the people who said yes to the dragons moved to Dragon Pass, a land to the north of your home. You stayed in Heortland, and it is a good thing, too, for a little over 200 years ago, the dragons rose up and ate everyone who lived in Dragon Pass. They ate the Orlanthi, along with all the other foolish human dragon friends. For a long time, no humans went to Dragon Pass. They were sure the dragons would eat them, too. Yeah, so this is a big deal in the history, in the lore, because what this basically does is it wipes out everyone in Dragon Pass, and then this is now where the game takes place, where we come in and resettle. So we're known for formerly, some of us anyway, being dragon friends. The remainder of us are now coming back. Recent events made you think twice about the abandoned land of Dragon Pass. A generation ago, a usurper who called himself the Pharaoh came to Heortland and started a civil war. Your clan broke into disputes, sometimes violent, about whether to support the Pharaoh. In the end, your group of dissidents decided it would be better to risk the dangers of Dragon Pass than stay and kill your own kin. The greatest sin an Orlanthi can commit. Okay, this is another one. Remember this one. So we've got hospitality, we've got kinslaying. These are the things that Orlanth doesn't like. Well, no. He likes hospitality. He doesn't like kinslaying. Well, no. So it's not too bad for us because we're resettling, but that will have consequences later for decisions. That's kind of the theme of this whole game, is that the decisions you make have carrying consequences throughout. So someday it may come into play that we'll have to make a decision again about dragons. Anyway, where are we going here? Those unable to live under the Pharaoh would move northward to Dragon Pass. People of similar beliefs from other clans had already made the same decision and settled there. So you made a new clan, just as your ancestors had done in the days of King Heort. Your new clan made the dangerous trek to Dragon Pass and selected a place to live. Like the other Orlanthi refugees from Heortland, you settled in Quiviniland, a mountainous area in the southeast of Dragon Pass. You would call these lands your home, or Tula. Tradition required you to make a formal land claim. How much land did you claim? As much as we needed, and no more. More than we needed to grow into. Lots more than we probably needed. Or huge tracts, far more than we needed. So I believe it was last time, right? We had that one event where we had some people who had been driven out of their lands and they wanted to come settle, and we ended up giving some of our lands away because we had so much to settle. So this is where we get to choose how much land we want. That will eventually, I think, impact our future expansion. Obviously, the more land we have, the more we can create pastures for our oxen, the more we can farm. But it also means that more land is more that we have to defend as well. So, okay, more than we needed to grow into. We'll go with that one. Okay, clan name. This is the random name we've been given here. We can change it, of course. Victory condition. Let's do... So what is this? Normal to hard? I think we should stick on normal difficulty. Yeah. And we'll stick it to the short length. So, the victory condition for a short length game is that we just need to forge a tribe and remain king of that tribe for 10 years. The long game is we have to become the first king of Dragon Pass, which means everything. So, in order to form a tribe, I think we only need to have a certain number of other clans join us. Not everyone in the pass needs to join us. I don't remember how many exactly. Anyway, your clan history. To prepare for the marriage of Ernalda and Orlanth, your men and women stood guard with Elmal. Your clan's earliest famous event was the procession of the animals. You added strangers to your clan as adopted family. Your ancient enemy is Ukar Gra, king of the Basmoli Beastmen. Yours was a balanced clan. You first awakened Elmal, the loyal Thane. Your attitude towards dragons was positive. You shared their knowledge, even though they ate everybody. And you have more land than you need to grow into. These are all things that are going to be important to remember, because if we do actions, these will affect our choices, basically. So, like, our attitudes towards dragons was positive. We need to remember that if we meet dragons again. If we have a chance to have more people move in, we don't want to take them as slaves, all those things. So, this is, in fact, you know what? I think maybe I'll write some of these down too, because some of this might be important for earlier decisions. So we have Elmal, we've got Procession of Animals, so that means that probably we'll be herders. We're big on family, oh yes, and Beastmen, of course, being our enemy. That's an important thing too when we have to face them. We are positive to dragons. Okay. So there we go. Okay. So any particular choices you want for a clan name, or should we just go with the random that was given to us? Well, the knowledge of being eaten, maybe, I don't know. I think that it might have some impact upon, well, I want to say magic, but that's not true, because it's god magic is what we use. I'm not actually sure what the dragon knowledge is for. I know there are particular events that happen that are somewhat related to the dragons, so maybe that helps us in those choices. Like we get a bonus for it or something? I'm not actually sure what all the behind-the-scenes stuff is. Roll a letter for each die. So, roll a die to find out the length of the word, and then roll each die to get a different letter. I think I'll just go with what we've got here. Okay, let's begin. See, so now we've got a completely different clan ring from last time. And it's also possible that some of the people from last time might be a different age, too. That's one of the really cool things about this game, is that everything is just kind of randomized like that. So, anyway, the Anghili Clan, last year. We made the dangerous trek to Dragon Pass and claimed more land than we needed to grow into. We built a clan hall, some steads, and a temple to Elmal. But when we left Hayortland, we lost much of our connection with the gods. That might be important to know. Other clans we knew back in Hayortland also sent immigrants to Dragon Pass, so we already have friends and enemies in the new land. It's now time for the annual allocation of the clan magic. Yes, a little bit. So we'll look over the clan here. Wow. Okay, let me look at the forecast real quick. So our God Talkers predict a more or less normal harvest, and they say that Odela would lure all the game away if we did not learn one of his blessings this year. So, the god of the hunt, I guess. So we need to, I guess, remember that. We need to learn We need to learn a blessing of Odela, otherwise we will not be getting anything from hunting. Okay, so yes, Gareth here says we should not stockpile any or use any of our magic. We need to stockpile it, even though we have 7. We have 7 here. I think we'll be fine. So, what is Gareth here? Gareth is excellent at leadership, and that's pretty much all. But he worships Elmal, which is our clan god here. Otherwise, he's just good at a few things. Good at everything. Then we have Desrada, Honor Uralda, and the animal mothers with 2 points of clan magic. So I believe that's our herds. Which, if we're gonna have poor hunting, then yeah, that might actually be a thing. Desrada is excellent with animals. Not too great with anything else. Then we have Loricon. Spend all we can on mysteries. Then we can sacrifice for understanding of the important blessings. Okay, so he's kind of telling us that we should do mysteries, and that could help us with Odela here. He is renowned at custom. So he follows Lankor Mai. Now, Lankor Mai, is that the god of trading? He would be better with his Ceres, I think. Lankor Mai is the mysteries god. So that must be what custom is, right? Custom is not economic custom, it is like custom tradition custom. Okay. Yeah. Jareen, the women of our clan can't learn the magic they need to help defend us. Allot some of our magic to mysteries to help us sacrifice for Vinga's favor. I do not know what the god Vinga does. Jareen is excellent at combat, however. Okay. Engarna, if we were a peace clan, we would be able to allocate even more of our magic to crops, herd, and mysteries. Well, thanks for nothing, Engarna. That doesn't do much for us. She is excellent at bargaining, though. She's our Iseri's trader. Okay. Argrand, it's easier keeping people healthy than trying to cure them later. I think we should allocate 2 to health magic and conserve a few points in case we need to call on Shalana Arroy during the year. He's an excellent magician. Okay. And Lismelder, allot 2 to crops. Our herds are also important, so earmark 2 for them. Leave some magic available in case we need to call on the earth goddesses. She's excellent with plants. Okay. So it looks like our fighter, Jareen here, yeah, is the only one good at combat. So Vinga must be a war god then. So anyway. Yeah, I think the last guy who was into Lankor Mai, that was the old crotchety guy, right? Who thought women should be in the kitchen, and we didn't have enough men on the clan ring or something like that. Yeah. So the mysteries and herds are definitely the 2 that everyone else was saying. So we got crops and herds. Healing, not helpful. Mysteries. He said mysteries. Animals, and he says don't do anything. He's going to be a fun leader. Yes, mysteries would help us with the Odela's blessing. So the mysteries is basically magic that we can put towards building temples and shrines, and then trying to learn the various blessings of the gods. Yeah, pretty much. Well, we'll have to see what else he does. See, I'm not really sure what Elmal in particular is going to want from us. So I don't know if that changes his attitude or if that's just who he is, because each of these characters does have their own personality. So that's that's very true. So we should probably keep, I would say, maybe 2 magic in reserve, because we can use it in combat, and we can also use it towards healing. Any other possible events that might crop up. So we should probably allocate a little bit here, some of the things they talked about. But we won't be able to do 2 of each like they wanted us to. So the big ones that they were talking about was herds and mysteries. And then something else. What should we do? Put one into trade. Put one into trade. Should we also do 1 in herds and 1 in mysteries, since those are the big ones they were talking about? Then let's maybe put something in something else. And put 2 into both herds and mysteries. Could also put some into healing, because that's what he said here. Our grand. Could also do crops. Yeah, the harvest is going to be alright. It's going to be a normal harvest. That doesn't mean that it would be a waste to put magic into crops, though. It might be an event that wipes out some of our crops, and so we can maybe use magic for that. Go 1 for crops, okay. Should we do 1 more somewhere? I don't think we need to hang on to too many. I don't think we're really going to have a problem early on needing all that magic. In fact, just having 1 in reserve might be okay, but having some in reserve is good, because we do have to come up with it. Okay, put 1 in health. Okay. So let's give this a try for this year. See what happens. Okay.